everybody. Welcome to our Facebook Live. Cathy Rees, who is a certified grief yoga instructor. So Cathy and I are going to talk today about what grief yoga is. We're going to do a couple of, or one at least, pose that she does in the grief yoga class, and talk about the workshop that's coming up in March and April here at Hospice of the Chesapeake. So Cathy, thank you for being with me today.
Thank you, Tammy. I'm really happy to be here today to share all this great information about grief yoga.
Yeah, so let's start beginning with sort of your background. I know you're a registered nurse and you've had years of experience in that, and then you're also certified as a grief yoga instructor. Can you tell me a little bit about how that journey came to be?
That's true. I have a nursing career of over 35 years, and that has shown me a lot of different types of grief. Grief from the loss of somebody, but also grief from the loss of things that have happened to yourself. I worked in shock trauma, so that had was watching people experience the loss of their limbs and their ability to move, and then also worked with people with Alzheimer's and dementia, so would watch the grief of the spouse, watching the person,
the caregiver,
having to experience that, and as well as the person with Alzheimer's knowing what was coming and grieving the loss of their future. A lot of in different ways. If you've seen one person go through the grief process, you've seen one person go through the grief process.
Because everybody experiences it differently.
Exactly.
That's interesting too. I wouldn't think about grief. I mean, it is all encompassing, but being certified as a grief yoga can encapsulate not just the loss of a person, but different types of loss as well.
There are so many different types of losses that we experience in grief yoga. And learning some of the strategies and creating a toolbox to help deal with some of the things that are going through us at a time of grief, which could be a very long journey, is very helpful. And while the nursing helped me to identify and recognize it, the grief yoga certification gave me tools on how to actually help people journey through that.
So tell me a little bit, how is grief yoga different than other types of yoga? What's sort of the basic premise of it?
Well, I think a lot of people have experiences of yoga as being the Instagram yoga, the crazy poses and the power yoga and the sweating and all that. And that's
standing on your head on the mat, like, yes, all sorts of different.
I don't even do that. So that's not the type of yoga we'll be doing. It's a gentle yoga. It can be done from the chair, or seated on the floor with props, being propped up by blankets or blocks. Very gentle, and it's really about creating a safe space, what we call in yoga a safe container, to allow people to experience whatever they're feeling in the present moment. There's no preconceived ideas about who's going to be coming in. It's offering tools and strategies for people all along the journey. So wherever you are, it's a safe place to be, to create space in your body, to move your body, gentle stretches, gentle postures, but all very intentional. We're not just going through, this would feel good right now. It's very intentional in the things that we do, in the postures that we hold, the breath work that we do, the different neurovascular holds that we create.
That's awesome. So what I hear two big things that you're saying. First of all, grief is an independent journey. Like, everybody's grief is different. And then the grief yoga can help whatever stage you are in. Sort of, there's no like expectation of it's just tools that you can provide to people.
Absolutely. It's as if you're going on a trip, and you're going to pack different things in your suitcase for whatever type of journey you're going on. Some things you'll need, some things you won't. So as people come in as a group, we call it a sangha, our community of people who are grieving together and looking to just heal that heart and go on that journey together. Some things are going to apply, and other things aren't, and that's okay. If there's a time during the class where you just want to rest in child's pose, or I'll offer some different postures that will help to soothe the nervous system and just be in that posture for the time being, that's absolutely fine. There's no judgment, and wherever you are is exactly where you're supposed to be. It's all perfect.
That's awesome. So do people come in for the grief yoga workshop utilizing other supports like in grief therapy or in support groups, and then they do grief yoga in conjunction with it, or sometimes people just come to grief yoga and have had no, other sort of.
Well, everybody comes from a lot of different places. Some people have been going on their journey for quite a long time, and their body just feels stiff. In grief, we tend to curl up into our body. We get short and tight here. We get long and stretched out in the back. And they've been in that kind of that grief posture for so long, they're just looking to open up and to create space and to elongate their muscles and just to feel better in their body. Whereas other people, as soon as they walk in, they start to have an emotional response and their grief is more new and raw. So they might be using it as an adjunct to other grief supports that they're involved in. So it's a variety, but it is a complementary strategy, a complementary opportunity just to explore. And I think that's a really good word, just to explore.
And I like how you said too that you don't have to have any knowledge of or background. It's not like some of the yoga you see on Instagram. So you don't need to be athletic or understand the terminology that's been used in yoga. It's all okay.
Yes, absolutely. There's no prior experience necessary. I'll be bringing mats and props and straps. And again, if somebody does not feel comfortable getting down on the floor, they're able to do all the postures in the chair or standing behind the chair. We will do seated, some lying down, and standing postures. But again, those who prefer not to get on the floor can maintain their posture in the chair. And it's for every body, every type of body.
That's awesome.
And in all parts and every step along the journey.
Okay. If you're just joining us, today I'm chatting with Cathy Rees, and she's a certified grief yoga instructor. And we're talking about grief yoga and what it can do to benefit folks at any stage, as she just mentioned, in your grief journey and at any point. So what I'd like to do, if you could show maybe one stretch or movement that you do in the class that we could maybe do together.
Okay, I would love to share a posture that helps people to open up the heart and chest just a little bit.
Okay.
And again, this may not be appropriate for somebody who's really raw in their journey, because when we open up the heart, it creates a place of vulnerability. So again, along that exploration, it allows you to see, how does it feel to lift my heart forward a little bit? Does that feel a little bit too vulnerable? Do I need to, still choose alternative postures? Take it slowly. And that's the beautiful thing too. Everybody's going to move at their own pace. They don't have to follow my rhythm, my breathing. They're going to follow their own pattern of breathing. So this one is called CatCow, and what it does is it helps to open and stretch and lengthen this chest muscle that often in grief gets curled in, because when we're scared or when we're sad, we curl up into that fetal position. So we're looking to open up the chest, open up the heart. So place your hands on your thighs, and we'll take a nice breath in as we press our hands into our thighs. Use that to help lengthen the spine. As you take that full breath in, draw the elbows back, lift up through the heart space, and take the eye gaze no higher than the seam of the ceiling in the wall. And as we exhale, slide your hands down your thighs, over your knees, round the back, and bring the chin towards the chest. Feel the rounding of the spine. Draw the belly in and up. Get all the air out. When you feel the need to breathe bubble up inside of you, take a lovely breath back in. Slide the hands back down the thighs. Lengthen the spine. Lift up the heart. See if it's possible to draw the elbows toward each other in the back. Head gazes up. Exhale, sliding the hands back down the thighs, chin to the chest, rounding the back. And then just a couple more with your own breath as you inhale, lengthen and open. Only going as far as feels safe for you today. And exhale, curling in, creating that sense, that little cocoon of safety there. And then bring the hands back to the mid-thigh. Press the hands into the thigh. Lengthen the spine. Lift the chin. Soften the shoulders down. And we come back to our seated mountain posture.
That's awesome.
So that's just an example of just an easy flow. And I love the flowing movement just to keep the body having that kind of just wave of movement and softness.
And focus too,
and
focus.
Right,
Yeah.
that internal focus. We talk about drishti. Drishti is drawing that awareness inward and just really being able to pay attention to how am I feeling. So one of the big parts of yoga that we do is sensing what's going on from the inside out. So it's very important to understand that if we don't know how we feel from the inside out, we really don't know who we are. And if we don't know who we are, we don't know how to move forward in the best way for ourselves. Because during grief, people love to give advice, right? They love to give advice. You should do this. You should try that.
Right.
You know, this worked
This will be great for you.
Great for you. But if you don't know how you're feeling inside and who you truly are, it makes it really hard to know, no, that is not going to work for me. I'm not going to do that. And you get you know, it really helps to get you moving forward in the best way for you. And we call that word interoception.
Okay.
What's going on from the inside out, sensing from the inside and getting reconnected to the body and out of the head a little bit so that we can ground down and just be present with who we are.
Okay, that's awesome. So let's talk a little bit about the workshop itself that's coming up. So it starts in March and it's in the evenings.
Yes, it's from 6:15 to 7:30.
On Tuesday evenings.
On Tuesday evenings.
Okay.
And it'll be an hour and 15 minutes just so we have that time to really settle in, get grounded, have some nice time for Shavasana, which is the resting posture. And I found when I was going through my deepest grief, Shavasana is really challenging for some people because it's a time when you're quiet, settled in. So guess what? If Shavasana is not right for you during that time period, then you sit up and you can continue moving in whatever way feels good for you. You can get up and get a drink. You do not have to lie there during Shavasana. Okay, that's nice. Just an example of one of the ways that it's an open and safe space.
Right.
But the classes are going to go through a nice variety. We're going to start the classes with just making sure that we can ground down, get familiar with the way our body is feeling in the present moment, learn about breath work to help stay in the present moment, and just start to begin to sense the inner awareness of the sensations that we're feeling in our body. Something is shoulder, closing the eyes and just noticing, you know, what do you feel about as the elbow lifts up towards the sky? How do you notice the way the arm and the chest are stretching? May I show a beautiful breath work?
Sure.
Okay, so if you'd like to join me.
Yeah.
This breath work is called compassionate breath. And I know that when I was going through my deepest grief again, one of the triggers, you'll have some certain triggers that set you off. And it was a grocery store. Okay. Because everybody was going about their regular business, and I was in the grocery store with all these people, kind of afraid of who I might bump into. It was just a very challenging place for me. So one thing you can do without anybody noticing, if you start to have feelings start to arise, not that you want to squelch them, but you want to honor them and allow them to be present, is just to place one hand over your heart. And the other hand can rest on top, or if you want to be less obvious, you can kind of just rest over your belly. And then take 2 or 3 breaths in through the nose and out through an open mouth. And we call that a cleansing breath. So breathing in and that open mouth sound, even making an ah sound, helps to release anxiety. Taking another breath in. And then if it feels good and right, to breathe in through the nose and out through the nose, and repeat the mantra, breathing in, I am. And as you exhale, here. Just grounding you into the present moment. I am here. And yoga is called Sat Nam. I am here. And it's just being kind and gentle with yourself, offering that same compassion that you would offer to some other friend who is in need, but applying that to yourself.
And I love how that's like you're almost hugging yourself, like you're almost embracing yourself and holding yourself.
You're not trying to push away the feelings or emotions. You're allowing them, those emotions are going to come in whether we invite them or not. Absolutely. So we may as well just say, bring it on, come on in. Right. You know, just go into my heart, enjoy. You know, you're going to see in there, you're going to see sadness and and despair and frustration and anger, just they're all in there, and maybe just joy opens that door just a little bit, peeks in, and I know what's going on in there.
Right.
So we
That's
talked about
great.
the emotions.
And I like that you can do that at
anywhere you are,
anywhere you
sitting in,
are. Yeah.
you know, you can. And just the idea is that I am here, I am present, grounding down into the present, here and now, just to
Settle.
get connected.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks so much for being here today, for sharing that. We have all the information posted about the workshop that's going to be at the Pasadena location starting in March through April on Tuesday nights, like Cathy mentioned. Also want to thank the John and Cathy Belcher Institute for their generous support of our community education program here at Hospice of the Chesapeake. Cathy, thank you again for coming and sharing your information about grief yoga. I think it can be really helpful, and for sharing the seated pose and the breathing exercise. That was
Thank
awesome.
you so much for having me here, and I hope to see anybody wherever you are along your journey.
Awesome. Thank you.